Nowhere else on the planet do the heat of the desert and the chill of the ocean collide as fiercely as in Namibia. The red dunes press against the cold waves, and between them lies a relentless arena of survival. This is not a place to admire beauty. Every sound and every step conceal a creature's fate. The strongest do not always survive, but the slowest are certain to fall. From lions waiting patiently near a waterhole to cheetahs with only a single chase in a day, every animal counts its chances to stay alive. Insects, antelopes, elephants, giraffes, even predators are all pushed to their limits. Namibia is not just a desert or a coastline. It is one of nature's most unforgiving tests, and failure is not an option. In the arid lands of Namibia, life does not depend on luck. Every individual must rely on its ability to adapt to harsh weather, scarce food, and constant competition. The cheetah is the clearest example of this race for survival. With unmatched speed, it can sprint like an arrow, reaching top velocity in just a few seconds. But stamina is its weakness. Each burst of speed is a gamble. If the prey is not brought down almost immediately, the cheetah quickly drains its energy and must stop. Here, where failure means hunger, the decision to chase or save energy is a thin line between life and death. Not far away, the leopard uses a different strategy. Instead of relying on speed, it uses the terrain to control the hunt. With a flexible body and strong climbing ability, the leopard often waits on high rocks for the perfect moment to strike. This method saves energy but demands patience and precise judgment. Meanwhile, lions use the power of teamwork. Even in dry conditions, they remain apex predators by hunting together. Once they target a prey animal, they will attack even large and dangerous species. But every hunt burns enormous energy. Three strategies, three ways to hunt, yet all reveal the same truth. There is no room for mistakes. Speed, strength, and patience each have their value, but each has its limits. In Namibia, where harshness shapes instinct, the fight for survival never stops. Only the best adapted animals endure. The Namib Desert stretches along Namibia's west coast. It is one of the oldest deserts on Earth. On its endless red sands under dry winds, every animal must plan each move to stay alive. This harsh terrain becomes a natural school of survival. Every species needs a strategy to cope with scorching daytime heat and extremely limited water. Sand dunes over 150 feet high create sunken valleys that hold a few plants. In this landscape, oryx stand out. They can allow their body temperature to rise up to 113 degrees F before sweating, which saves water and helps them endure the heat. Parabuthus scorpions and sidewinder snakes use the hot sand to hide from sight. The sidewinder moves in an S-shaped pattern to limit contact with the ground and reduce water loss. On dunes near the coast, Stenocara beetles stand facing the morning wind. They collect fog on their wing cases, letting water droplets roll into their mouths. This adaptation allows them to live where average rainfall is below zero. Along the dry Q-Isab River, Desert elephants survive by remembering old water holes. They dig deep in the dry streambeds to reach underground water. The trade-off is long migrations that can exceed 125 miles. This spreads the herd out and exposes calves to predators. At Sossusvlei and Deadvlei, "900-year-old dead camel thorn trees show the extreme limits of plant life. In this seemingly impossible environment, survival depends on controlling body heat. The Namib is an arid region with average rainfall below 1–2 inches per year. In these conditions, oryx antelopes maintain stable populations through strict physiological and behavioral adaptations. Providing a clear example of natural selection in one of the world's oldest deserts. An adult oryx weighs about 440 pounds and reaches over 5 feet in height at the horn tips. Its straight horns, 35 to 47 inches long, are powerful defensive weapons against lions, brown hyenas, and leopards. Their length and rigidity can cause serious injury to attackers, lowering the risk of being killed. The surface temperature of Namib sand often exceeds 140 degrees F, yet oryx antelopes rarely sweat. Their bodies allow internal temperature to rise to 113 degrees F before blood passes through a cooling network of capillaries in the nasal cavity, reducing its temperature before it reaches the brain. This process protects the nervous system from heat shock while conserving water. Most activity occurs in early morning and late afternoon. Avoiding midday heat reduces water loss and preserves glucose. However, the Namib and Kalahari stretch for thousands of miles with sparse grass and dry air. In this landscape with almost no open water, springbok antelopes sustain large herds through compact adaptations. Their average height is 30 inches and weighed about 88 pounds, large enough for long-distance running but small enough to avoid excessive energy use. Three distinct fur bands in brown, white, and black blend with patchy ground colors, reducing detection from a distance. During movement, a white stripe of fur along the spine stands erect in a fast reflex, like an unzipping motion. This signals nearby individuals about potential danger or indicates readiness during mating season. The advantage of this erect fur display is clear visual communication on open plains, but it can also attract predator attention when an individual strays alone. The springbok's most famous behavior is pronking, a straight upward leap off the ground with stiff legs and a nearly horizontal body. Springbok rely almost entirely on moisture from young leaves and succulents. In the Cunning and Damaraland regions of northwestern Namibia, about 150 desert elephants remain. They are a population of African savanna elephants that have evolved specific traits to survive in the driest terrain in Africa. Their bodies are smaller than those of other savanna elephants, but their legs are longer and their feet are wider. This spreads their weight and reduces sinking when they cross high sand dunes. It is a clear advantage over heavier hoofed animals that easily sink on loose, hot sand. The large feet also act as shock absorbers, allowing elephants to travel 25 to 37 miles every day without early exhaustion. Their large bodies and pale gray skin reflect part of the heat, while wide ears release excess heat efficiently. They lower body temperature by flapping their ears, creating airflow that cools blood vessels under the skin's surface. This advantage allows elephants to stay active at midday, when many other animals must stay in shade. Stems dry out and moisture content drops sharply. The search for water along the Ugeb and Hueb riverbeds is essential for survival. Although the surface is dry gravel, deep sand layers hold scattered underground water. Elephants dig temporary wells up to 10 feet deep, opening access to water for antelopes, birds, and rodents. The drawback is that temporary wells can collapse, creating deep trenches that trap calves or injure trunks during water collection. Slow reproduction is a fundamental weakness. Gestation lasts 22 months, and each birth usually produces only one calf. The Kalahari Desert has extreme temperature ranges, irregular rainfall, and intense sunlight most of the year. In this environment, meerkats measuring 18 to 22 inches long and weighing up to 2 pounds maintain stable populations through social and physiological strategies refined by natural selection. Their gray-brown fur blends with sand and sparse grass, reducing detection by birds of prey from above. 2 black patches around the eyes absorb slanting midday light, preventing glare and allowing clear vision of distant threats. This advantage comes at a cost. Darker fur retains more heat, making the first sentry at risk of overheating when temperatures approach 113 degrees F. Meerkats live in groups called mobs, usually 20 to 30 individuals, sometimes up to 50. Multiple breeding pairs are present, but only one dominant pair reproduces regularly. This clear hierarchy reduces internal conflict and keeps group activity synchronized. During every foraging session, at least one meerkat stands upright on its hind legs, turning its head constantly to scan the sky and the grassland. The vigilant system lowers ambush risk. Meerkats feed on crickets, beetles, larvae, small lizards, bird eggs, and occasional roots of succulent plants. They survive for weeks without open water by extracting metabolic water from insects and roots. However, Insect availability fluctuates greatly after long sandstorms. When prey numbers drop, the group expands its foraging area, risking encounters with rival mobs or brown hyenas. Burrow systems are central to meerkat survival. They usually extend 6 to 10 feet deep with 10 to 20 exits to spread escape risk. Reproduction follows a cooperative care model. Pups are born after an 11-week pregnancy, open their eyes on day 9, and leave the burrow by day 30. The dominant female breeds 2 to 3 times a year, with litters of 3 to 5 pups. Other group members act as babysitters, bring soft insects for pups to practice biting, and teach them alarm calls. This system increases pup survival in a harsh environment. Meerkats detect ground vibrations through long legs and curved claws. They dig rapidly to expose insects, but reveal their location to raptors. In the arid coastal regions of Namibia, where sand, rocks, and wind combine to create an extreme ecosystem, the brown hyena plays a unique role in the survival chain. It does not have a large body size or exceptional speed. An adult stands about 30 inches tall and weighs 75 to 100 pounds. It is not a dominant predator. Its advantage lies in a strong jaw with solid molars, capable of crushing the long bones of medium-sized mammals. Its powerful digestion allows it to consume almost every part of a carcass: flesh, skin, and bone. The brown hyena is easily recognized by its long, shaggy, dark fur. Its large ears enhance its ability to hear distant sounds, helping it locate carcasses from hundreds of yards away. Along the Skeleton Coast, where seal colonies breed near the shore, brown hyenas watch from a distance. When adult seals return to the sea, hyenas approach to attack pups or feed on carcasses washed ashore. These are rare opportunities to access high-energy protein that sustains them through long periods of scarcity. Brown hyenas have a significant advantage in their ability to travel long distances. An adult can cover tens of miles in a single night to find carcasses or remains left by hunters and larger predators. This wide range increases the risk of territorial disputes, encounters with humans, and threats from vehicles near settlements. Despite their adaptability, the total brown hyena population in southwestern Africa is declining. Habitat loss, competition with humans, and illegal hunting have placed them on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's near threatened list. Projects like the Skeleton Coast Brown Hyena Project monitor their behavior. Territory and reproduction. To design conservation measures for the remaining population. On the central plateau of Namibia, Erindi Reserve hosts one of the most efficient predators on Earth. The African wild dog. Its coat is mottled brown, black, white, and yellow, with patterns unique to each individual. These markings help pack members recognize one another and break their body outline when they move through tall grass. Their greatest advantage lies in strict pack organization. Groups usually contain 10 to 15 members, but can reach up to 40 when pups mature. A dominant pair breeds while others take turns hunting, guarding dens, and defending food sources. This one-pair, whole pack raises model reduces conflict and focuses energy on raising young. When the alpha pair hunts, their hunting strategy relies on speed and teamwork. Wild dogs reach 43 miles per hour, but instead of short bursts, they maintain steady pace over 2 to 2. Success rates reach 80%, twice that of lions or cheetahs, proving the power of coordinated pursuit. This endurance hunting requires large food intake. Their lightweight skeletons and long legs save energy per mile, but smaller bodies mean weaker bite force compared to lions. Another weakness is their breeding structure. If the dominant pair dies due to traps or disease, the pack can lose its reproductive output for an entire season. A narrow gene pool makes the species vulnerable to canine distemper and parvovirus outbreaks that spread from domestic dogs near human settlements. The balance between these traits will decide the future of these united hunters across Namibia's grasslands, where every chase is not only a hunt, but a test of whether their rare social strategy can endure. Erindi lies in the warm, dry highlands of Namibia, where low grasslands mix with thorn scrub and rocky outcrops. This mosaic of vegetation provides ideal cover for leopards. Their pale yellow coats, patterned with asymmetrical rosettes, make their bodies nearly invisible when they lie flat in grass or move behind rocks. Within 65 feet of the target, they launch a short sprint. Reaching speeds close to 37 miles per hour, and leap onto the prey's back or neck. Their jaws clamp precisely on the carotid artery. Stopping blood flow to the brain and ending the struggle within seconds. Their strength lies in precision and powerful neck muscles. Their weakness is limited sprint range. When they bring down kudu or springbok weighing twice their own mass, leopards immediately use their strong limbs to grip the carcass and drag it toward the nearest tree. Flexible shoulders and sharply curved claws let them haul the prey up the trunk in a spiral climb. Storing food high in branches reduces the risk of losing it to spotted hyenas or lions. This strategy saves energy, allows multiple meals from a single kill, and limits the need for further hunting. Its weakness is high energy cost. If the branch is too high or the trunk is slippery, leopards may abandon the carcass on the ground, increasing the risk of losing it to scavengers. Their solitary nature avoids food competition within their species, but becomes a disadvantage in conflicts. A lone adult rarely fends off two hyenas. Leopards usually abandon the kill or escape into a tree. Solitary living also places the burden of cub protection entirely on the mother. If she is injured, Namibia is the last stronghold for the southwestern black rhinoceros subspecies, with only about 600 individuals remaining. Most live scattered across semi-arid reserves like Erendi, where daytime temperatures exceed 104 degrees F and rainfall stays below 10 inches per year. These harsh conditions shape every aspect of their biology to conserve water and energy. Within a body mass of 760 to 975 pounds, two traits stand out: thick, multi-layered collagen-rich skin and solid keratin horns. The skin reduces water loss through evaporation and protects against thorny acacia scrub. Horns can grow up to 3 feet long, acting as shields and weapons. Males use them to defend territories, females to protect calves from lions or hyenas. A hooked upper lip allows selective feeding on leaves, buds, and young shoots from protein-rich shrubs ignored by many hoofed species. This specialization lets black rhinos feed year-round without competing for grass with antelopes or zebras. But dependence on shrub recovery after rain makes them vulnerable to desertification. They can survive 5 days without drinking water thanks to a large bladder and strong kidney reabsorption. They move mostly at dawn or dusk to limit water loss and wallow in mud pools during midday heat to cool down and deter insects. Their social structure is loose. Adult males hold territories spanning several square miles, marking with dung and urine. Females cross boundaries freely unless accompanied by calves. From May to October, rain is almost absent in Etosha. Drought tightens its grip on the savanna, drawing every creature toward the few remaining waterholes. Each shallow depression acts as a vital pump supplying moisture for over 114 species of mammals and more than 400 bird species. This convergence creates the most dramatic natural stage of the year. On the outer ring, zebra herds arrive first. Their striped coats help detect predators from a distance by disrupting the attacker's line of sight. But crowded at the muddy edge, their wide hooves lose grip, making slips that give hyenas an opening. Their visual advantage is offset by poor traction on slippery ground. Next come springboks and oryx. Springboks are agile and can leap high to evade an ambush, but their light weight makes them vulnerable to elephants pushing through for access to water. Use their long horns to fend off solitary lions. Their mass, however, forces them to spend more time drinking. The middle ring belongs to African elephants. Each adult can draw up to 53 gallons of water, often digging into the waterhole bed to reach underground seepage and open supply for smaller animals. This benefit comes with risks. The edge of the hole can collapse under their weight, creating mud traps where wildebeest calves get stuck. Elephants dominate the ecosystem, but their stirring of mud clouds the water, lowering quality even for their own young. Lions and leopards wait in nearby bushes, selecting prey that strays from the herd. Lions rely on group power, often striking at dusk when heat has weakened antelopes. Yet ambushes near waterholes draw elephants' attention. A single trunk sweep can scatter a pride. Leopards hunt alone, using grass cover for a quick attack, then drag their kill into trees to avoid hyenas. Their weakness is short chase distance. If prey escapes beyond 65 feet, the hunt almost always fails. Above, white-backed vultures and tawny eagles circle. They watch for chaos below dust clouds, roars, or hyena movements to locate fresh carcasses. When drought is too severe, fewer hunts succeed, leaving entire flocks short of nutrition. As the sun sets, heat stored in the salt pan rises, blurring the air. Animals retreat to mopane tree lines, leaving brown hyenas to finish the scraps. For the next 4 months, this cycle repeats daily. Thirst gathers life. Water divides survival. The strengths and weaknesses of every species are tested continuously. At Etosha, waterholes are not only life sources but mirrors reflecting how well the entire ecosystem adapts under relentless dryness. In Etosha, African savanna elephants stand out not only for their massive size, but also for the layer of white dust covering their bodies. Etosha elephants are among the largest in Africa. They can reach up to 13 feet in height and weigh close to 15,000 pounds. This strength allows them to break large tree branches. They travel in herds, usually led by an older female. Although one individual leads, decisions about movement, water sources, and avoiding danger depend on coordination among experienced members. This structure provides strong cohesion and reliable protection for calves, especially against predators or during water shortages. In Etosha's dry landscape, the Angolan giraffe reaches up to 18 feet, taller than any other land mammal. This height gives access to high acacia canopies with little feeding competition. Leaves from acacia and commiphora trees contain high moisture. This allows giraffes to go for many days without visiting waterholes, a significant advantage when hundreds of other animals crowd around shrinking pools. Every time they spread their legs to drink, their ability to scan for danger is reduced, making them easy targets for predators. Long limb joints and elastic tendons in their heels give them strides up to 13 feet, enabling the herd to travel long distances to reach fresh shoots during severe drought. The trade-off is high energy demand on an enlarged heart that must pump blood up the long neck. If shrubs are grazed down by elephants or oryx, giraffes are forced to walk farther, burning more calories. Their social structure is loose, usually groups of 5 to 20 individuals made up mostly of females and calves. Their tongues are about 18 inches long, covered with thick mucus to protect against sharp thorns. The waterholes of Etosha do more than quench thirst. They shape the future of entire lion prides. From May to October, the dry season forces antelopes, zebras, and oryx to gather in shallow basins. This concentration creates an ideal hunting ground for predators weighing up to 550 pounds. The first strength of lions is raw muscle power. An adult male has a bite force exceeding 1,000 psi, strong enough to pierce the thick hides of large antelopes. The second is explosive speed. Within a 200-foot dash, lions can reach nearly 50 miles per hour, fast enough to strike prey distracted while drinking. At the signal, the circle closes on the target in seconds. Etosha holds one of Namibia's last remaining cheetah populations. Their bodies are finely tuned for acceleration. Long legs, lightweight skeletons, a flexible spine, a wide chest housing a large heart and lungs with high capacity. With these adaptations, cheetahs can reach 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds, faster than nearly any hoofed animal on these dry grasslands. Sharp vision identifies young, isolated, or injured individuals. Only when distance closes to about 230 feet do cheetahs launch the chase, minimizing energy loss. If successful, they need 5 to 10 minutes of rest before dragging the carcass into shade to feed. Conflicts with livestock farmers on park boundaries lead to cheetahs being trapped or shot when weakened. Reproduction is slow. Mothers care for cubs for 18 to 20 months before breeding again. Losses from traps, vehicle collisions, or competition push the species closer to extinction. African buffalo benefit the most from this system, weighing up to 2,000 pounds with thick paired horns. They can withstand initial attacks from lionesses long enough for the herd to countercharge. Their herd strength and muscle power turn them into a bulldozer, carving paths through flooded reed beds for smaller species to follow. Their weakness is low speed in slippery mud. Young calves that stumble or lag behind become easy prey for leopards waiting on dry riverbanks. Hippopotamuses dominate the main river channels. Their thick skin and oily secretions provide natural sun protection in warm waters. Standing on riverbeds, they stir sediment gently, refreshing water columns, increasing oxygen levels, and releasing nutrients downstream, a key ecological service. Their advantage is wide jaws and canine teeth reaching 20 inches, strong enough to drive lions away from riverbanks. Their weakness is limited mobility on land. When delayed rains push water lines far from the main channel, hippos must travel farther to graze, increasing encounters with human maize and millet fields near river edges. Above the river, storks and herons forage on exposed mudflats, probing for larvae. Their wide wingspans let them use thermal updrafts along the river, saving energy while moving between shallow pools. But their long legs become a disadvantage when water recedes rapidly, trapping them in sticky mud. A few hours of struggle can exhaust them and leave them vulnerable to brown hyenas. Namibia is a clear example of adaptation between natural harshness and environmental change. From elephants and lions to cheetahs, every species here faces survival challenges. Rising temperatures, dwindling water, and shrinking wilderness. Yet community-driven conservation efforts, with active involvement of local residents, have brought positive change to this ecosystem. Sharing tourism revenue, monitoring lions, supporting elephant migration routes, and protecting cheetahs all demonstrate that humans can play a constructive role in sustaining wildlife. Still, these local efforts cannot replace global awareness. Everyone can contribute. Reducing plastic use, saving water, and choosing environmentally friendly products are small but meaningful actions. If you have ever set foot in Namibia and witnessed antelope herds crossing dry plains or elephants wading through rivers, that experience itself is the strongest call to action. Every story shared is a reminder. Nature's survival journey continues, and we are part of it.